So there are men that are giving women a taste of their own medicine when it comes to dating. And I don't want to be one of these guys that are uh baiters, right? That are rage baiters. Baiters. That sounds kind of weird. Pause. But I don't want to be one of these rage baiters that are throwing water on the oil, so to speak, when it comes to this whole dating thing between male and female, okay? Because there's a lot of that going on. But let's just keep it real. Let's keep it honest. Things done changed, and, you know, a lot of guys are starting to take the route of giving women a taste of their own medicine because at some point, men were like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this anymore. Even though we are the ones that get made out to be some type of super villains, we're the ones that get made to be some type of just bad person and all of that. When in all reality, a lot of times, a lot of good dudes end up getting played and they end up getting finangled and finessed in this whole thing of dating when they deal with these, I hate to say the word, modern women. And I'm gonna get into it. This is Tarek Talks. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So a lot of chicks in this modern day of age, whatever you want to call it, they really took this whole feminism movement to an extreme, to where it's like they felt like they could do whatever and get away with it because, hey, I'm just a girl, right? We all hear, we've seen this stuff on the internet, and it's talking about like, oh, I'm just a girl, and they say it after they do some atrocious type of stuff, and they're like, oh, I'm just a girl. And a lot of chicks took this route, right? They took this kind of I'm just a girl route and I can do no wrong, and made men seem like they're tripping, right? Like with the whole thing with having male friends and texting guys. Oh, it's just don't be insecure. I'm just texting. He's just a friend and all that. We have all heard this before. She say he's just a friend. We've all been hearing about this. Now, I be hearing a lot of chicks complaining about that, like, oh, he's got female friends and all that stuff. Y'all been doing. We've been trying to tell y'all to stop doing that for the longest. But what happens? We get called insecure. We get called this and that, all that type of stuff. Now men are like, you know what? I ain't even dealing with this foolishness. I'ma have some too because I already know more. And then here's the bad thing. Here's the bad thing too. A lot of guys come out the gate doing this type of stuff because they've dealt with a lot of young ladies, unfortunately, that have this type of mind state. I could tell you guys a thing too. A lot of these, the way these modern chicks think is talk to multiple guys at one time and be having relations with multiple guys at one time. And there's no reason to try to argue with them or try to make them uh, realize that what they're doing is wrong, because they're just going to come back with some dumbass lame excuse. Like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work out with this guy, so I'm going to keep my options open. And really what the translation is I'm going to keep my legs open because I'm trying to frame it as, oh, I'm going to keep my options open because I don't know about this guy. But in all reality, they just like to be out in the streets, right? Well, now dudes, and I'm not a big proponent of having a rotation and stuff. You guys know this. You guys know me. I never had a video time I'll keep a rotation this and keep a rotation that. But a lot of guys now, they're doing that too. Now they're talking to multiple chicks at one time and banging multiple chicks at one time because a lot of the chicks that they meet, this is what ends up happening. They find out that he's not the only guy that she's talking to, and he's trying to take things serious. And in her mind, this shit is a game. She's not taking it seriously. So the guy's like, you know what? I'm going to do that too. And this is why you see a lot of these videos encouraging guys to have rotations this and rotations that. And really and honestly, it's a mess. Let me just say this. I know the way that the video was titled is kind of toxic or whatever you want to call it, but it really is a shame. You know, it really is a shame that it's like that. But a lot of guys are starting to turn the tables because a lot of these guys that are so-called players and womanizers and stuff like that, they start off as good dudes. You know, they start off as decent guys. And then they see how things really are out here, and they're like, "Oh, okay, so this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing." And then acting they start acting out, and they give women a taste of their own medicine. That's why a lot of these chicks, you see them on the internet, you know, they'll tell you what the guy did. They're like, "Oh, he cheated on me with blah 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 and all that." But the guy that they were with before, you know, they weren't taking him. They were playing him. They weren't taking him seriously. They were flaking on him, talking to other guys while they, you know, and they screwed over that guy. And now here they are complaining because someone gave them a taste of their own medicine. And this isn't a large, let me tell you guys something. This isn't a large amount of men, right? Or, you know what? It's starting to be a more amount of men. But the main ones that are doing it is the guys that are really getting play out here, you know, because for whatever reason, the main guys that are players and womanizers, whatever you want to call it, are the ones that get a whole bunch of women, even though they know what this guy is on, you know, and these chicks end up getting screwed over. And it's just like a weird cycle, you know, it's like a weird cycle of people effing each other over. And the thing about it is, like I said, a lot of these chicks will get on the internet and talk about how the dude was this and how he was that and he did this to her. And, you know, a sob story. And, you know, you look under the comments and, "Oh, girl, you're a queen," and blah, blah, blah. She's not gonna talk about the 10 guys she was stringing along, knowing that she had no interest in them. She's not gonna talk about the guys that she used for dinner dates, and she's not gonna talk about all that lying she did, right? When she's talking about, "Oh yeah, I've only been with 2 guys," and you know, all that lying stuff. And see, here's the thing. Another reason why guys are starting to give a lot of these chicks, especially modern ones, because let me phrase this, let me tell you guys real quick. It's not all. It is not all. I'm not one. I promise you, if you say all chicks in my comment section, or you try to come back with a rebuttal, you're just gonna get blocked. You're gonna get blocked because that type of mentality is, I don't encourage that type of mentality. Okay, because there are some good women out there. That's like a lot of chicks saying there's no good men out there. Yeah, there is. Okay, so please don't come in my comment section with that. You will get blocked. I don't care who you are, right? But you know, a lot of these chicks are getting a taste of their own medicine. And they, you know, they're not gonna talk about, like I said, they're not gonna talk about the 10 guys they were stringing along and using for dinner dates and all that lying they do. Like, "Oh, I've only been with 2 guys," and they try to frame themselves as this innocent, whatever. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's not your business what her body count and stuff is." Yeah, ultimately it's not. But when you lie about it, then that's where it's a problem. All right. And anyone can feel a certain way about it, but it is what it is, because some guys on this space are gonna be like, "Oh, you shouldn't worry about that and stuff." Nah, I don't care what no one else thinks. That's something that I do take in consideration. Now, is it a complete deal breaker? No. But when you tell me but when these chicks say that I've only been with 2 guys, and that number is completely fabricated, you know, that's like, okay, why are you lying? And then with all the other stuff they be lying about, like, "Oh yeah, that's just my male friend," but they're not gonna tell you that they smashed before, or you know, stuff like that. And a lot of men caught up. They started catching up. That's why there's a lot of these videos on the internet showing, you know, talking about modern 304s this and modern that and all that kind of stuff. And at some point, there's going to be, you know, I see it already. I see it already with a lot of dudes just really all that chivalry and all that stuff. all that being courteous and making sure she's good and stuff. Like, a lot of dudes left that behind. And a lot of chicks be telling on themselves on IG or TikTok or whatever. You know, when they post these little cute videos talking about how, oh yeah, I got 5 boyfriends, is, you know, stuff like that. And they're just airing each other out. But then that same chick is going to be single for pretty much the rest of her life. And she's going to be she's going to be blaming guys like, oh, these dudes, they ain't no men out here and all that. You know, we've all heard that story before, right? So anyways, with that being said, hope you guys liked the video. Peace.